Welcome to Critical Perspectives on Social Media Use, CMST 340. My name is Rob McKenzie. I'm the instructor for this course, and how many times today already has social media, your use of it in particular, impacted the way that you feel, the way that you believe, or how you act? How many times has your phone not been in your hand and has caused you a little anxiety? How many times has a text message come across that you know you should answer but you don't have time right now? How many times have you wondered whether your text message or whatever you've posted on social media is going to get a response? Just think about that, and the day is probably just beginning for many of you. Social media use, like it or not, envelops us every single day these days. For most people, their lives are dictated by their social media use, at least in terms of their general overall well-being. Now, I just happen to have driven through one of the most unique areas of the country and probably the world. It's called a quiet zone. I'm taking a trip through West Virginia and Virginia right now, and this is a place, the quiet zone, in West Virginia, where they have purposefully disbanded all wireless connections. There's a bunch of reasons for it. The main one is that there is actually something called a radio observatory there, right there in the mountains of West Virginia, and they're trying to discover things about outer space, and they can't have any interference by radio signals, and so this whole huge swath of land within a national forest is off limits to wireless. But also West Virginians are starting to think about how can they market this in an age where most people feel in some ways trapped, even though they don't want to be untrapped from social media. And that is to say that West Virginia is going to be marketing part of their state to people who want to get off the grid. They want to come and be in a place in the mountains in particular where there's no connection whatsoever with Facebook, Twitter, texting, email, etc. They want to be off the grid. So that's the world we live in. That's why we have a course like this, Critical Perspectives on Social Media Use. And now in the rest of this video, I'd like to tell you about how that course is going to run. Okay, the basic routine of the course is every day from Monday through Thursday. The course runs Monday through Thursday, not Friday. Every day from Monday through Thursday, there will be assignments released at 12 noon. Sometimes earlier, but always by 12 noon. And then you have until the following day at 12 noon to complete the assignments. It's pretty simple. That's the way it works. The assignments are explained in detail on the syllabus, but if you can get used to that routine for this class, then you'll do well. Of course, there are some other things as well. Email is the way that I let the entire class know about any changes in the timing, any changes in the syllabus, etc. So email is something you should be checking every single day, preferably before noon. Another thing that makes this course have a routine to it is almost every day you'll be posting something from a book called Rounding Some Corners that I wrote. More about that in a moment. But you're not really seeking to gain the information for this class from that post. What you're looking to do is to make that post and get a reaction from your followers on your social media platform that you're signing up for today. You're going to look at those reactions from your followers, and then you're going to tie them to what the book is talking about that we're reading for that particular day. So there's going to be concepts that come out of the book that you say, this explains how people are reacting to my social media post. Okay, more about that later, and also I'll have an example for you to look at on D2L to see what one of those posts looks like. And then finally, your posts for this class have to have a word count. It has to be between 190 and 210 words, your posts. If you go under that, you lose points. You go above that, you lose points. So always get in the habit of making sure that you count your words in your posts. Use Microsoft Word or whatever, 190 to 210 words. 200 words is what I'm looking for. You get a 10-word window on either side of that. All right, let's hit the syllabus now. Let's talk about that. The basics are all at the top there for you. I'm looking at them. I'm looking at the syllabus on my computer now as we're talking. And at the top of the syllabus, you have my contact information. I'm not going to read every word in this. That's not an effective use of video as a medium. But I will tell you the basics. My name is Rob McKenzie. I'm comfortable with you calling me Rob, or if doctor is what you would like to use, that's also perfectly fine. My office hours are not any office hours because this is a distance ed course, but if you do need to meet me, I am back on campus on the 18th of July and afterwards. The best way to get in touch with me is by email. I answer my email several times a day. There's a help desk phone number for you if you have any trouble with D2L, and there will be probably some troubles throughout the course. It's just the nature of teaching a course online and using internet technology. D2L is your first course of action. call that help desk and see if they can help fix your situation. Do note that for many of the days in this course, you'll have to watch the video before the assignment is triggered. The video, watching it, is what triggers the assignment. So you need to make sure that you always watch the video that I post every single day before you go on to other things. There's a bunch of what we call department outcomes on this syllabus that describe what we want all of our students who are taking classes in the Department of Communication. By the way, we used to be the Department of Communication Studies, but we changed our name last year to Communication. There's a bunch of department outcomes. You can read those on the syllabus. Please do. And then after that, there's a bunch of course outcomes. Again, since it's a long list, I'm not going to read them right here, but specifically what I want you to learn from this course. And there's some very important concepts in there that will explain to you why I use words like posts generically to refer also to tweets. Tweets technically are not posts, but in this course, post is a generic term. Check that out on the syllabus. I also define social media on here so we know specifically what we're talking about. We're basically talking about websites and apps that are used on cell phones and computers to connect users, mostly for social reasons, not business reasons so much, although that's an outgrowth, but mostly for social reasons, getting together. Attendance in this course is pretty much up to you, signing in every day, getting your stuff done by noon the following day. There are 2 books for the course. One is called Social Media, Enduring Principles. You need to have both books for the course to pass it, and we're starting with one today. If you don't have your books, you're going to have to scramble to get a hold of it, otherwise you're not going to pass this course. The first book, Social Media, is a new book that I'm using, so I'm not super familiar with it, but it's got a lot of chapters on subjects that I would want to break the subject down by, which is why I chose it. And then there's a book that I wrote called Rounding Some Corners, and you're going to be making posts on columns from Rounding Some Corners, because Rounding Some Corners is a book of a collection of newspaper columns that I wrote for the Pocono Record over a 3-year time span. Now, columns is really not the best word to describe what's in Rounding Some Corners. They're really just ideas that I trail out in the space of what would be about a column, or what's really 400 words is what I was working with. And so you'll read a column. You get to pick whatever column you want to read. You'll actually read 2 of them almost every day for this class, and you'll make posts on your columns on your social media platform. And then what you will do is you will show those posts on D2L so I can see what is going on. More about that as we get into the syllabus, and also you read my email and also the examples that I have on D2L. But essentially, Rounding Some Corners tries to get people to think about their lives in funny, ironic ways that makes them realize that they're doing stupid things. I guess that's a crass way to say what the book is about. Along the way, I talk a lot about social media. I use that as the subject for some of my commentary, not all of it. But almost always the most important line in every column is the last line. It's meant to have a double meaning. The very last line of the column is meant to have you scratching your head and say, wait a minute, and to think about things. That's what I want. That's what my book is about. I currently have an agent, by the way, who's trying to shop this book to publishers. I'm supposed to have a phone call with him next week. So I've been shopping it for a year now, but in the meantime, it's published on Amazon.com. And anyway, it's just what I think professors should be doing. If you've written something, you should be using that material in your courses so that your students have access to your ideas directly, as opposed to always using somebody else's book. It's a little philosophy that I just want to let you know that I have. At any rate, you'll be making posts from Rounding Some Corners. That's described on the syllabus. Every time you make a post, you must follow it with 2 hashtags. One is Rounding Some Corners, all one word, capital R, capital S, capital C, Rounding Some Corners. All the rest is in small case. And that's followed by the second hashtag, which is going to be RSC, capital RSC, standing for Rounding Some Corners. Now, from there in this class, you'll have discussion posts to make almost on a daily basis. Discussion posts go like this. You're required to go and take a look at the way that people have responded to your Rounding Some Corners post on your social media platform. Even if there's no response, if there's no likes, etc., you're supposed to take note of that and then explain it using whatever concepts we're reading in the book that day, the other book, the social media book. And the chapters for that are listed on your syllabus, so you can see on the schedule of events what chapter you're supposed to be reading for today. We're not starting chapter 1 for today from that book because we're just going to make our RSC post today. Tomorrow is when we will start our first chapter of that other book, Social Media. So got to have it in your hands by tomorrow. Your discussion posts are going to take concepts from that chapter 1, and you're going to apply them to how people have responded to your RSC posts that you're making today. Okay? Then in addition, there is something called a discussion reply in this course, a discussion reply. Also like the discussion post, you're going to make 15 of them throughout the course, but the 3 lowest grades will be dropped. The 3 lowest discussion posts and the 3 lowest discussion replies. A discussion reply is also between 190 and 210 words. 200 words is what I'm looking for. And what you're supposed to be doing is you're supposed to be replying to another person's post in this class by offering counter arguments to what they're saying, so that we get a good spirit of debate going in this class and that we consider all different opinions and not everybody's agreeing with each other. It's all in good fun. We want to think about things from alternate points of view, and that's why I have the discussion reply as part of this course. Now, the big project for this course is something called a Project Viral. We'll be assigning that next week. Project Viral is where you and the rest of your team members, because you're signing up for a social media platform team, are going to try and get content to go viral. And we're going to define what viral is. I'm going to let you define what viral is. It's going to be different for every social media platform. You can't say that Facebook with more users is on the same level as Snapchat, for example. So we'll talk about that later, but you're going to try and get your content to go viral without being illegal, without shedding really, really bad light on ESU. More about that later, but just don't get any ideas in those directions. But we do want to be creative and zany and unusual with our Project Virals. All right, now the next thing I just want to talk about is the grade breakdown. 30 points in this class out of 100. 30 points is for your discussion posts, and 30 points on top of that, taking it to 60 points. 30 points is for discussion replies. 20 points is for your Project Viral. And then 20 points is for this paper at the end of the class called the analysis paper on Project Viral, where you will analyze how your group did with its project and what you learned about how to use social media to push that content out to as many people as possible. Okay, on here I have an accessibility services policy on my syllabus. You can read that. If you have any needs, please let me know. I have a plagiarism policy. That's very important. Stealing others' work is just like stealing property from somebody. It just happens to be intellectual property. So we never cut and paste entire passages. We always take things that we find on the web or in books, and we rephrase them in our own ideas, and we give appropriate credit to people when they have original ideas that we haven't thought of but we think are interesting. That's what citation is all about. Hopefully you've learned that by now. This is a 300 level class. If you have any questions about it, please let me know. There's a Title IX statement as well about sexual harassment and other forms of harassment. That's required by the federal government now to list those things on the syllabus. Okay, then you turn to the schedule of events for the course, and you can see day by day by day what we're supposed to be doing here. This is something that I would always have. I would save it on my phone if I were you. I would have it in your downloads or wherever you keep stuff that you save, so you can do a quick glance and see what's due for the day. Always be in touch with the course. Things move very quickly in an online summer class, as this course is going to move quickly, and if you get too far behind too quickly, sometimes you can't recover. So it's important you know what's going on. And you'll see today that we have a couple things I'm going to assign here. And then tomorrow, as we're starting to wrap up this video, we have some other things to handle, including the very first chapter from the book Social Media. That's also when we're going to be making our first discussion response post, okay? So here are your tasks to wrap this syllabus up for today. Your tasks are, number one, to watch both videos that I have posted on D2L, this being one of them. The other one is going to be my instructor introduction video, a little bit about me personally. Then next, what you're supposed to do for your second task, after the first one to watch 2 videos, is to post your own intro video. Introduce yourself according to the guidelines that I put on D2L under the Content tab. Those are the things that you're supposed to cover in your intro video. Try and get it to be 2 minutes, okay? No more, no less if you can help it, right around 2 minutes. And then most people, in order to get up their videos on D2L, are going to post it onto YouTube and then put the link for YouTube on D2L. Make sure you don't have a private setting on your YouTube video, otherwise we won't be able to see your video. So you'll need to upload a 2-minute video introducing yourself by noon tomorrow. Okay, so that's your second task for the course. Third task for the course is to sign up for your social media platform team. There are 6 teams, from Twitter to Facebook to Snapchat, Instagram, etc. You get to pick which one you want to work in. This is a social media platform you'll be posting in all semester long for this course. Okay, you'll be focusing on that one. You will also learn about the other social media platforms in this class, but you'll really get to know one from the inside out by signing up for one. Only 4 people per team. So if 4 people have signed up under Snapchat, it's closed. Okay, you got to go on to the next one. All right, sign up for that today. That's your third task. Fourth and finally, you want to make your first RSC post. So pick a column, any column. Actually, you're going to make 2 posts, always posting on 2 columns just so that you have the greatest chance to get reactions to your posts. Choose 2 columns. There's a table of contents with a lot of different titles. They're all about different subjects, so you can hopefully find one that meets your interest, and a lot of them are really well suited to this class. If you see one that's on social media, a column on social media, that might be one that you may want to have maybe a special inkling to use because it'll fit right in. Of course, all of them will. It's all depending on the powers of your imagination and your ability to connect the course concepts to what people are saying in response to your RSC posts. If it sounds a little bit confusing, don't worry. There's a lot of information in this first video, but it's going to unpack itself very clearly very shortly. So that's it for this. I hope you have a great day.